Let's go. Consider me a big shot. What up to Stevie? Mimi, Scrap, yo. I'm on my love and hip hop. Yeah, so solid, it flows through my body. And if you got it, love, I'm told that's where God is. I'm Tyrone Higgins. Whenever love is given to be pragmatic, I'm just an addict for your love. I gotta have it. My problems disappear when love's connected. I never wanna take back an hour, minute, or second. What a blessing. Love ain't proud, it ain't rude. Love, it rejoices in telling the truth. Love is so patient, kind, it doesn't envy. Love your friends, love your enemies. I hope this love sink in. Got love for my neighbor, agape phileo. Let me be more convincing. Maybe you can dive in and exegete or censor, dissect the scripture where Bishop we show love. Or if you a sinner, transgender like Bruce Jenner, well, Caitlyn, we show more love. We use basic math, don't subtract, divide it. God can take one love, then add or multiply it. Don't wanna swear by it. I promise if you don't have love, your life will be full of the opposite. And that's a big mistake. You trying to demonstrate all love in sync like Justin Timberlake. And that's a big mistake. You trying to demonstrate all love in sync like Justin Timberlake. If it cost $1 million, or if it was free, I love you, you love me. Let's put love together. Love sing, love sing, love sing, love sing.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? This is Brother Darryl McGriff with another episode of Love Sessions right here from Love Sync Ministries. Again, this is Love Sessions, and we're bringing you back for another episode, as I said before, and I hope everybody had a wonderful new year, bringing it in just right. Hope everything is going to go right for you. Hope. And if you didn't, go back and listen to my New Year's Eve message about love, aka God, how we got to walk in that love, how we got to be God on this earth, because we might be the only representation of love, aka God, that anybody sees, hears, or know of. So that's something you have to walk in constantly on a daily basis and be consistent with it. So for this, like you said, it's going on YouTube, it's going on Facebook. I need y'all to blow this stuff up, blow it up. Send me people if you want to see them interviewed. If you want to be interviewed about your situation, your life, your business, whatever's going on, hit me up on Facebook in the DMs. You can email me at lovesyncministries@gmail.com, and let's get it cracking, as they say. Also, like I said, leave comments on Facebook. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave comments, hit the notification bell, all that stuff that they say, because like I said, my reason for monetizing this is to give the money back to you. I don't need it, so I want to give it back to you. So let's hurry up. Get your friends out there. Tell everybody to go jump on Love Sync Ministries on YouTube. Subscribe, like, notification, comment, Facebook, like, notifications, whatever you got to do on Facebook, let's make it happen, all right? So since we're starting out the new year, I have to go back, hit the new year with an old friend of mine from way back when. I think she's a grandma like 15 times by now. Just messing with you. But ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to right now stand up, put your hands together for my buddy, Miss Kathy Hawkins.
Hey, how you doing? I gotta check myself off.
What's going on, girl?
Oh, not too much. Just hanging in here and enjoying the grandbabies and bringing in the new year the way it's meant to be brought in.
Well, I know when you say you ain't doing too much, I know that's a lie, because you the busy bee herself. That should be your logo, the busy bee. You need to get that hooked up.
Well, with COVID and everything, I'm not as busy as I normally, but just working everything and still trying to assist those that can't help themselves is still what I do.
All right, then. Well, let me get my 5 questions started off right off the road, just to get the brain, going and all the juices flowing. So let me go. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll start from the bottom of this one. So what was your nickname growing up?
Oh, there was many. I don't know. You know, back in the country, when you grow up as a little girl, they always call everybody Miss Ann. You know, but you know, everybody, family called me Cat. You know, family and friends called me Cat.
All
So,
right.
mhm.
So now, what's your favorite song, singer, or group? You can either just do one out of three, two out of the three, or you can do all three.
Oh my gosh. Um, you know, it's kind of a mixture. Um, you know, I like the Yolanda Adams song, I Need to Talk to You. Um, Lord, Don't Move My Mountain. The original Inez, I can't remember her last name, but she sang, I mean, she put her foot in that song. And then there's another song that Walk Around Heaven All Day.
All right, I hear you. I hear you. Okay.
Mm.
Now, who was your high school crush?
Oh, really? Look, I'm gonna tell you, growing up, I grew up in a strict family. So, you know, being in high school and school or anything that had to do with education, books were my boyfriend. So I was a nerd. I was called Miss Bookworm, Miss Professor. But you know, whether it's a real crush or a fictional crush, I think at that time it may have been maybe like Prince or Michael Jackson or somebody like that.
Ah, okay, okay. So that was your crush, huh? Fantasy crush. Okay. Now, what was your first job?
Oh gosh, babysitting,
Who? Oh,
babysitting.
oh, okay, okay. Hey, as long as it paid, that was a job.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I made more money babysitting when I was 11, 12, 13, and 14 in a week than I probably made on my first real job that I had to pay taxes for.
Mm,
So, you know, if I was making what anywhere from like $300 to $500 a week babysitting.
I need that job then.
But you know, I had a lot of cousins back in the day. So, you know, in the summertime, that's what I did. I went to each one of my aunt's houses and all the kids came over and I was the babysitter.
All right, cool. So now,
Mhm.
who was your first kiss? I ain't talking about your cousins either.
Ah, I wouldn't do that. Oh my gosh. First kiss. I cannot recall first kiss.
Dang, it was that long ago? Good grief.
Oh, you know what? I,
Mm-hmm.
I do remember.
Mm-hmm.
I was in eighth grade. And it was I wouldn't call it just a real kiss, but you know, it was like a little, you know, a little when the boys have a crush. I didn't it wasn't my crush. But this little boy gave me a kiss on the cheek. That's what that was.
In the eighth grade, huh?
Yeah.
Now, was
In eighth grade.
that over at Chapel Hill or Jackson?
That was at Jackson Middle School.
All right.
Jackson.
Okay, so now
You know, if
go ahead.
but you know, it went from the sixth grade to the eighth grade, so you was in junior high.
Okay. So now
Mhm.
the meat and potatoes of this thing. Now here's where we get serious about what we do. As again, this is Love Sync, aka Love, aka God. So we're syncing ourselves back up with God, and everything that we do
Yeah.
this time is about that process that we all went through. So when did you
Mhm.
consider yourself? When did you first like get saved or knew that you were saved?
Uh, for me personally, I was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Down in Tyler, Chapel Hill CME Church,
Okay.
and um, I just knew even before getting baptized and you know going through that whole process with the formalities of it. And I just knew it was just something in me, and I just knew that I was. It was just something different about being saved. My grandmother used to preach to us, or I won't say preach, but when she would give us the talks that she gave us, we always thought it was just, you know, how the old ladies talk and you thinking, oh, they don't really know what they're talking about. But as I got older and grew and studied the word more, I realized that everything that she was telling us when I was a kid, it was all biblically based. She told us everything that came from the Bible. She was teaching us the Bible and she wasn't even looking at it. It's like she had it memorized, but she was telling us the Bible. So the whole time, my entire walk, now, if I made mistakes along the way, yeah, you know, it's only human. But what she instilled in me at at a very young age. It stayed with me. But when I started reading the word for myself and understanding it stuck with me more. I grasped that, and that relationship building became more evident for me, you know. So yeah, 7 years old, I knew.
Okay, so at 7 years old, and just like you said, as you were going through, and then you start getting the understanding. So then
Hmm.
at 7, you really don't understand that yet. So again, so like you said, so you said you had the feeling. So what was it that you said you felt that you were saved at 7? So what was the difference in that feeling? And then later on, you understood it.
It's a feeling that's kind of hard to explain, honestly. And my pastor actually said it once, and I didn't know that other people actually felt that way. But it's kind of like having like this presence that you don't. It's an unfamiliar presence, but it's not one that's scary. It's not one that makes you feel frightened that it's there. It makes you feel calm and comfortable and comforting. And you know, it's just like you have just knowing that he's there with you. You know, it's again for me, it's just kind of hard to explain, but I just kind of knew that I had a certain. I'm supposed to say certain things. I'm not supposed to act a certain way. This is not becoming of what the Lord wants you to do. You know, and I'm gonna tell you a story, and I've told you I've shared this many times before, but I'll share it again. You know, when I was a little girl, because of my experiences in that, I used to climb trees. I got a whipping every day for climbing a tree, but I did not let it stop me. I was being disobedient. You know, I put that there, but my determination in climbing that tree every day, I couldn't tell anybody because I felt embarrassed to say it as a kid because all the other kids would laugh at me. But as I got older, I found I was bold in explaining the reason why I did that. And the reason I was doing that is because, you know, we had Bible study and I was thinking, okay, God is in heaven. I was climbing a tree so I can get closer to God. And that was the, you know, as a little kid thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm climbing this tree so I can reach God in heaven. So, you know, those are the kind of things that for me as a kid, I was thinking about and going through and dealing with.
Okay, all right, I got you. Now you have all my guests so far. You're well, except for my cousin, because she grew up in Tyler too, and so you know how it was back in the country in Tyler.
Yes. Yes.
She don't know nothing else but being saved, so it's like from birth. That's all. And but so being that, you know, like you said, now you have to walk this walk through life. At this time, you know this presence. You don't really understand it. You don't know how to process it. So now, as you go along, when did the backsliding start?
Well, you know, sometimes we some people call it backsliding. Some even we call it a lot of different things. And I guess backsliding is it. You know, we stumble along the way in our walk. None of us are perfect. So, you know, there are going to be times we may make the wrong decision and, you know, we have to deal with the consequences of that decision. But we also know that whatever we're going through as a child of God, He's not going to leave us or forsake us. He's going to correct us, um, you know, in whatever it is we're doing, as long as we know whose we are and we're not, um, you know, just totally falling by the wayside here. But, you know, we're going to have our missteps along the way. But again, you know, like I said, we make bad decisions through life. None of us are perfect. But as long as we know, study the word and get back on course, He's going to keep us there. So He's not going to leave us nor forsake us in whatever it is that we're where we misstep.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because you know I know everything about you. So
Almost.
not making calls. No, but so if that's the case, then let me ask you this. So at what age was your first marriage?
I was married. I've only been married once.
But
Um,
at what age?
and I was 19 when I got married.
Okay. So you were saved at that point, right?
Yes.
So now had you really come into the understanding of the word yet, or is it still that same feeling from like when you were 7?
It was that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also that exploratory stage for me. Again, I grew up sheltered, so when I got married, it was, um, and before I got married, I had a kid when I was 17, and that for me was, I'm like, okay, I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed on that because I knew it was something I wasn't supposed to do. Um, you know, that was a feeling for me that I had betrayed in my heart. I betrayed God in doing something, and I was being disobedient in doing that. Um, then I met my ex-husband. We're not married now, and it just felt like it was like he was sent to me at that point, But it felt like everything was working, and just trying to stay the course. Because I always thought in my mind, looking at my grandparents and the people that were down in the country, people get married, they stay married, no matter what they were going through, no matter what the situation, the hardship, or what. I don't care if there was some infidelity in that relationship. They endured it. They stuck with each other no matter what. And that's the kind of thought process I had going into my marriage. Although things happened, it didn't. You know, I won't go into all the details of how it ended, but things happen.
Okay, so like you said, I don't know everything. So when you just said that about being 17 and pregnant, so at that time, how did, because I know back in the day how it was. So how were you treated by the church being that young, not married and pregnant?
Well, first of all, it didn't even start with the church. It started with the family. Um, uh, at that point, I was actually blacklisted. I was like one of the favorites in the family, but when that happened, I was like the black sheep. I was blacklisted. I was told that, they had to wash their hands of me because now I guess I became, sometimes back in those times, they would say you're like an embarrassment to the family or you shame the family name or something like that. Uh,
But
since,
now,
you know,
and but and these family members are all supposed to be part of the body too. They all
yes, 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 yes.
what they're
So again,
once that happens. Okay, go ahead.
but and yeah, and that was the part that I thought, as I still consider myself a still a young. I mean, I knew I was saved, but I didn't know everything. I don't care how old you get, you never know everything about the Bible. It's a learning process. It's a growth process as you go. And then at that point, I felt like I needed them to be there for me because it was a whole new experience. I guess for anybody that's in that situation for the first time. But instead of getting the support or the comfort I thought that I should get in, being scared at this age and not knowing what the outcome is going to be as far as, how things are going to progress after the baby came. Even just going through it, I didn't know what to expect. And so I was hoping that I would have that support, but I didn't. All I got was, the I was just outcasted. Yeah,
You got the
I was
judgment,
an outcast.
right? And so at this point, for those that just heard that and listened to that, I want you to understand again. That's why when God hit me with His revelation of the church is not showing my love, and we started Love Sync. This is one of the things right there. When something happened with members of the church that they don't feel that's right, then they do what they did to you. They turn their back on you. They ostracize you. They judge you. But if we are to walk in God, like the scripture says, because God is love, then that was the time that they should have been bringing you in.
Yes.
It's going to be all right. God still loves you. Don't worry about it. He got your back. As you said, He's not going to leave you nor forsake you. and we got you like God got you. So we're here for you. We're going to help you raise this baby. We're going to teach you what to do, how to become a woman, how to do that. But instead, like you said, we do the opposite. The church has done so much bad. Instead of showing true God, true love, they do the opposite and then throw you away. And so we're hoping that that's what we're trying to teach, that God still loves you no matter what you have done. He still loves you. And we want you to understand that. And don't anybody that's turning you away saying God don't want you and we're going to turn away from you, then that's not of God. That's not love. So, I'm glad you brought that up and how that happened that way.
Yeah, but it also taught me too at that point, even though, and I reflected back on the words that my grandmother had taught me. Like I said, as a young girl, she was teaching me the Bible, even though, she'll tell us to pick up the Bible or whatever, but the words that she spoke, the words of wisdom that she spoke to me, it just I found strength in that. And then it led me more to reading my Bible more. I read it, but I wasn't reading it like I should have been reading it. So it led me to the Bible, to the word more. And that's why I found more comfort in to be strong in the strength from that, to persevere even in that time, getting a job. I graduated at 17. So everything fell in line. So I didn't have to, I went to school, I went to college, I did everything. It was all falling in line. And I know it wasn't just by me, it was by the grace of God saying that, okay, I'm not leaving you alone in this. So he made provisions for me in doing that. Somebody bought me a car and paid cash for it. I couldn't afford it. So a lot of things were happening. God was blessing me in spite of, he was making provision for me. I shouldn't say blessing. He was making provisions for me to do what I needed to do for my child at the time, because, he watches over his children. And being that I was still young in the word, in Christ like that, he watches out for us. He watches out for his children. And I'm a firm believer in that. And so I just know he was always there. He's always been there, and he's still there. So no matter what I go through, no matter what missteps I make, he's going to chastise me. He's going to correct me. But my faith in him is unwavering. My belief and my trust is unwavering. So I know that I'm always going to have that as long as I trust and believe in the word. But I have to walk the walk and do what I need to do as well.
Yeah, correct. So now you say you got your first child, then you got married, so you had a couple more children. So now you got a total. You got 2 girls and 1 boy. So how did your walk, like I said, during those times? So how did your walk during those times of being, well, basically a single mother with 3 kids? So how did your walk in your faith hold you together dealing with 3 kids on your own?
Listen, had it not been the prayers that I prayed every night, the tears that I cried nearly every night, the hours that I worked overnight, midnight shift, whatever that needed to be done. Now, again, I wasn't perfect in along this time, but, I just know that my prayers were being answered. Provisions were still being made, because a lot of times I didn't even know how I was going to pay my rent. Even though I worked, it still wasn't enough. I was trying to live in areas to where my kids didn't have to be in bad neighborhoods, but I couldn't afford some of those areas that I was living in, but I was still doing it. And I would count, add up my check, and I'm like, all the bills were paid. I had cars that were getting paid off, and I'm just like, Lord, if I didn't see this for myself and know that you're real, I would not. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell anybody and explain it in a way that, for especially somebody who's a non-believer, or the person that's just not grounded in the word, to even get them to understand. God makes a way for his kids, because there's no way possible, humanly possible, that I should have been able to do a lot of the things that happened. I couldn't afford a lot of the things that I was affording during that time, but he made a way.
Right, right. That's good. That's good. So now, and with that, so now here you are, single mother of three, walking in faith and knowing that God, if God don't provide, a lot of this stuff ain't gonna happen. So now, how do you feel?
Exactly.
How do you believe that then being a woman of faith, how did that help you raise your kids? And what do you think your kids got from that?
Well, raising my kids, I think honestly, I think I fell short sometimes in that because I worked so much trying to make sure that they had what they needed that I didn't always get them to church. We went to church, but sometimes I worked on Sundays only because I was trying to get overtime so I could get enough money to make the bills. So there are a lot of times they didn't. I kind of missed out on a lot of opportunities. Now I did talk to them, we read the Bible, uh, taught them how to pray. But as they got older and other influences started, with them, different things that they hear. Now they're their own people. But now, even though they went different ways, as they get older, we're having these conversations again, and now they're understanding the walk.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah. So, man, like I said, I don't even know where to go because it's so many ways to go. I don't know which way I want to go, but because I know all three of your kids, and like I said, I've been knowing them since they was young as they growing up, and I know you've done. I've seen you. What you said, work hard, do everything you need to do, try to do, hold it together for the family and the rest of your family and everybody else also. So now at this stage of life, where do you want your faith to take you? What do you want God to do for you now? As as you're getting older, the kids are grown and they're gone. So what do you want? What do you want out of life from this point on? What does Kathy want?
What I want right now, I want my kids to grow up and my grandkids to grow up to be God-fearing people. I want them to be successful. But me personally, um, I'm a laborer. And, as the old saying goes, the harvest is plentiful, the laborers are few. I want God to use me to his glory, to edify, to pull in those lost souls. Whatever it is that I need to do, the work, if there's somebody that needs to be fed, I do that. I've opened my home to complete strangers, and everybody is like, "You're crazy. I wouldn't do that. Aren't you afraid?" No, I'm not, because God gave me the insight before that person even came to let me know, okay, take this person in. I know that sounds strange. Some people may not understand that, but I had no fear in doing it when I did it. So, and I don't mind helping people, uh, but he gives us the discernment to know when, people are trying to use us and those that genuinely need help. So he'll send you those people that need help too. There will be some that come pretending just to get what they can, but he gives you that discernment. So yeah, I want him to use me. I just want to be an instrument to continue to do what the will of God.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Just and see, and that's what I don't want people to get confused about, because yes, even though God is love, he give us, like you said, that discernment, that unction, and everything that we need to know that you can't help everybody and you can't work with everybody, because some people mess around and like I said, they'll just drain you, take up all your energy. And that's energy that could have been going towards somebody that really needed the help, versus somebody who was just wasting your time and taking your energy from you. So you definitely got to listen up to God in who God wants you to help, who he knows that you need help. That because it's been things where we needed help, and just out the blue, people would call and say, "Hey, I need to do this for you. And I'm like, what? And so
Yeah.
definitely got to listen to the spirit, because if not, so you got a lot of people that go around saying, well, this is what the Bible said, this is what God wants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody, and they just helping everybody, but they not helping nobody, because nothing is really getting done, because they're just trying to do it on their own. They're not listening to God. And God tell them, this is the person that you need to help. This is where you need to be, because I got this person. This is where you need to be, because this person is coming with this, so you can give this to this person. So I really want people to just slow down, be quiet, and truly listen to God, so you can be able to show God, aka love, to the person that really needs it, and not wasting your time for people that don't.
Yes.
All right. Yes. So now I also want to get into this, because this is, I know, like I said, with COVID and everything, it's been slowing down, but we had you do your thing when we was doing
I can't hear you.
I know why. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So like I said, with the decorating that you do, for us at all the meetings, and like I said, hopefully everything will kick back around, and maybe if we find another place where it needs decorating again, we'll call you back in there to do it again. So let me ask you this. So where did your decorating skills come in?
It came out of therapy. I started out doing it as a form of, and I mean, I haven't had any formal training in that. It's just something as a kid that I used to like to do. And it was kind of like to take my mind off everything that was around me. And my prayer, my meditation time, I would just kind of make arrangements and make little things and just do that. And as I'm doing it, I'm praying, I'm meditating as I'm going along with it. So it was kind of like out of just therapy. And then, people start seeing it and say, can you do this? Can you do that? So, and then that's how I started getting into it. And then at church, just out of the blue, one of the elder of the church just selected me to be the decorator for the church. I'm like, I haven't done this before. And I could have said no, but it was just something I felt that I was being led to do.
Well, it's more than just being led to do. You definitely have a gift for it, and like I say, and as I go sometime and look back over the pictures for the meetings, and then I just happen to look at the decoration, I'm like, man, Kathy hooked this bad boy up. So I always push you to, hey, go do it. But don't give yourself away like but I always push you to go do your decorating thing, go do your event planning.
But let me add this though. In everything, before I did anything, I always pray and ask the Lord to give me the insight and the inspiration for whatever it is that I'm doing. So it's not just something I say I want to go do this or whatever. I always prayed on it and then let Him guide me in whatever it was.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope you you kind of get back into it. You start getting some more weekend paying gigs, you know what I'm saying? So people will pay you for what you do and get some of your money up front before you do it. But you keep that up, keep doing it, because like I said, you're good at it, so don't let nobody distract you. And I know, because I remember one time you couldn't do one of the meetings, and this other person said, oh yeah, well, I decorate too. And so we got them to decorate, and we like, what in the world is this? So we made sure that they never was used again. But so it's definitely a gift for it. Everybody just don't have an eye to put that together like you did. So I want to always encourage you to keep that up, keep doing it. And because you do have a gifting, there is a gifting in that, what you do. And everybody that always came to those always said how good everything looked when you did that. So I appreciate that. You got any closing words for the people?
Only thing I want to say, Happy New Year, and I hope everyone is blessed and stay safe. And I always believe and trust in God, because without Him, there is nothing. You have to stand on His word and stand firm and put on the whole armor of God, because you can't go out into the spiritual warfare if you don't have on the proper armor. So, stay armored up and stay in the word.
There you go. There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, put your hands together as she departs for the busy bee herself, all the way from Tyler, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kathy Hawkins.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, girl. All right, y'all. So that's another episode of Love Six Ministries Love Talk. Once again, you guys make sure that you're on the Facebook, that you like, leave a comment and all that kind of stuff. On YouTube, this will be on YouTube tomorrow. So make sure that you go on there, view all the videos, the old ones with me and the wife doing love talk, these new ones with love sessions. Like I said, I need you to be viewing, I need you to be liking, I need you to be commenting, I need you to be hitting notification bells, all that stuff. Again, the sooner we can get this bad boy monetized, the sooner we can get this money to you. So tell all your friends to go check it out, view the videos, leave comments, like all that kind of good stuff, so we can get this money to you. And tomorrow, believe it or not, tomorrow my guest will be none other than my main man. You know him, Mr. Rain on Me himself, Mr. Ernest Pugh. Y'all be like, man, you don't know Ernest. Guess what? Yes, I do. And you will see him tomorrow. If you don't, get, sometimes he back out on me. But hey, y'all make sure y'all with me tomorrow as I interview my main man, Ernest Pugh, right here, Love Sync Ministries, Love Sessions. Until then, y'all be blessed and always continuously and constantly walk in